Hello, my name is Shirley Jackson. You're here for the interview, right? Right. I must warn you that when it comes to autobiographical material, I don't go into detail. I'm very straight to the point about my life. It's something I'm not very comfortable with when it comes to detailing certain facets of my life. It's very chronological order. This happened, this happened, this happened. Is that alright with you? Okay. Just wanted to, give you the warning. Oh, I'm making a doll. I hope you don't mind. It's something I've been working on for a little while. Yes, yeah. A bit of sympathetic magic. But like Mary Cat Blackwood in my novel, we have always lived in the castle. Exactly. Are we also going to be discussing my other works? I'd much rather keep to my works than my personal life. I wouldn't mind giving you a couple of details about my life, as long as I can continue making my doll. I mean, if you give me that benefit, then I'll give you that benefit, but I'd really much rather focus on my works, if that wouldn't be a trouble for you. Excellent. Well, details about my life. I was born in 1919. Kind of. And I'm married to Stanley Edgar Hyman, the literary critic. He works in Bennington College. We live in Vermont. I attended Syracuse University. In my childhood, I was not very well accepted, to say the least. I've had a bit of difficulty fitting in. Let's see, there we go. Is that even a doll? It can be kind of a phantasm, like a ghost. Like the one on The Haunting of Hill House. Yes, I don't really mind the fact that people often believe, I guess, that the Vincent Price adaptation, The House on Haunted Hill, is an adaptation of my story. I guess they're quite similar in name and in premise, but I didn't endorse that one. The one I endorsed was in 1963. I believe that was a year before The House on Haunted Hill came out. Although I do have to admit that I adore Vincent Price. He's quite yeah. Nonetheless, back to my life. I didn't quite fit in school. I ended up suffering in another school when teachers started criticizing my writing quite harshly. But I mean, what do they know? I am a successful, very published author with a couple works to my name, but most notably The Lottery, Hangsaman, We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and House on Haunted Hill, which is considered to be the greatest novel of the 20th century. My works, including The Lottery, which is commonly read in public schools, are quite dark. When The Lottery was published back in the 1940s, the reaction I had from it were people sending me letters in outrage that it was too dark. And I just thought that was hilarious because they had no idea what was coming. Like, you think that's dark? Let's see how you handle this ghost story I'm about to write, or this story about a young girl with a penchant for sympathetic magic who just so happens to have had her entire family mysteriously die around her. And what else? The Hangsaman, of course, which was a story about a sophomore college girl in Bennington College who disappeared. And I think that covers the four main stories that I like. Now, I finished my doll the best that I could. I mean, like, if you go like this, then it reminds me of The House on Haunted Hill. But I finished it up, and now that it's done, I was wondering if I can work a little bit of sympathetic magic on you. Would that be alright? Great. In that case, I'm just going to be putting some of your energy into the doll. That way, I can start playing with it. Now, just sit still. You're not going to need to do anything. You're just going to need to stay still, sit back, relax, while I just kind of piece away energy from you and just start putting it into the doll. Okay? Great. So, just breathe and relax. It would be appreciated if you breathed a little better than that. No shallow breaths here. I would like it if you were to breathe in deeply and also exhale until your chest kind of inverts. Just like that. Warm my hands up a bit. That way my energy kind of works as a magnet towards yours. Right, back to my work. Mary Cat Blackwood. She's a character that I find a lot of parallel with, minus the whole, no spoilers, but, She was very enthused about sympathetic magic, going so far as to nail a book to a tree in order to keep herself protected from any negative energy that were to trespass on her property, which obviously didn't work because once negative energy did trespass on her property, the book ended up falling off, indicating to the fact that there was a presence she would not want on her property, and she did everything she could in order to remove him by working sympathetic magic. For example, she would kind of curse objects and, she just wanted him out. I would suggest you read the book if you haven't. It's quite well written. You know how I know that? Because I wrote it, and I'm Shirley Jackson, so. Literary genius. There we go. Just a little bit over here on the side. I feel like I'm neglecting the side a bit. This doll is coming out a little better here. Let me just put it up like that. Make it stand. There we go. And then there we go. And there we go. I think Mary Cat Blackwood is probably my favorite character, to be honest, as I already stated. I just can't get over her. She's just so well written. Now, who else is a character that I am fond of? Constance is also a character I like, but she seems a bit passive to me. And, you have to be passive to know what she knows about her sister. So, no spoilers though, no spoilers. And who else? There we go. The lottery. Back to the lottery. Oh, the reaction was glorious. All the letters I got from people in outrage, and then along comes me writing even more material that is quite dark. I find that the material I wrote about wasn't that dark. I think it was much more for its time it was dark, and also the fact that, I was a woman probably was taken into account, and the fact that it was sort of a plot twist. So, yeah, it was probably shocking, and then written by, a housewife, and then on top of that, for the time, it's just not. It wasn't, how long, 40 years later, American Psycho would be written, so, the times, they truly do change. Like Bob Dylan says, the times, they are a-changin', so. But that was fantastic, and I just continued on doing my own work. Because, what else am I expected to write? It's not like, bullied in school, mistreated by teachers who criticized my work, my only passion in life, the only thing I ended up doing in my life, and excelled in. No one noticed how I excelled except for, my readers, but the people in my personal life, they kind of pushed it to a side. When it came to my husband, he was cheating on me, he was, trying to control me, trying to monitor what I did. I felt patronized by everyone I lived around, and it's just such an unfortunate situation. I even abused tranquilizers and alcohol. I mean, if I'm abusing amphetamines and barbiturates, alcohol kind of becomes a common theme. But I mean, tranquilizers. I abused tranquilizers because I was not at all comfortable with the situation I was being placed in. And as a result, I ended up gaining weight from the stress, my severe anxiety. I mean, like, considering my upbringing, it was there. But from the whole situation of the matter, it just became severe. And from the weight gain and from all of the, regrettable habits, it just boiled over off the record. This is all off the record. So, that's how I ended up dying. But my work lives on, and people still read it in schools, and people still enjoy it decades after my death, and centuries after my death. I'm going down as one of the literary greats here. Really warm up my hands again. The lottery. I just can't get over that one, especially since my husband never took it into account, and for some reason thought he could control my, like, I still can't get over that. How could he think he could control my money? Like, that's my money. I'm the breadwinner now. Like, if anything, you do the household chores now. Like, don't you be putting me in that housewife corner. Like, I'm making more money than you. You be the house husband. So it's just like, for him to control my finances when I'm the one making that money. Like, not so much that I'm making the money, it's just the fact that it's my money and you're telling me what to do with it. Like, excuse me. No. So it's just... Anyways, the lottery was truly successful. It was successful during my lifetime, so it wasn't like one of those tragic examples of writers whose works only end up becoming popular after they're dead. My work was, recognized while I was still alive. Unfortunately, no one that I knew in person cared about my success. I mean, it's not so much that they didn't care about my success, it's just that they kind of never acknowledged it and just focused on my negative qualities, like, for example, not being a housewife or being a housewife. So it's like, it was a double-edged sword, really. Like, I couldn't win in either situation. So nonetheless, I'm rambling on. Here we go. I think your doll is ready now. Yeah, your doll is ready. So, this is your doll. It has a piece of you inside of it now. So, take care of it. If anything ends up happening to it, you might feel pain or die. Either way, I don't know how much of your energy I put into this. Do you want me to put enough so that if you lose it, you die? Excellent. I'll put in a little more energy then. Just sit still. Just remember to take excellent care of this doll. There we go. Okay. There we go. And on this side. And I think here. You're set. Yeah, I think you're set. So, just remember, take care of this doll. If you lose it, you die. So, I would, try to protect this with your life. So, here you go. Remember to be very careful. I cannot stress that enough. And I hope hope you have enough information about me to write whatever report you need to.